First thing this morning, I'm having my black coffee. That's not gonna, why is that? Oh, it focused on the trees instead of the cup. That's so funny. Oh, that looks kind of cool. Anyways, I'm having my black coffee this morning with a few drops. Now it's not going to focus on this. A few drops of the Keto Chow fasting drops. I just got a couple Amazon deliveries of kitchen items that I ordered, and I thought I would just, for fun, show you what I got. The first thing is I got a lid for my cookie sheets, my Nordic half sheet pans. I have, I think, 3 or 4 of them. I use them all the time, and this is just a lid, a plastic lid to go over them for if I'm needing to take something somewhere. We were just taking something to an event, and I was like, I really want to lay these out on a cookie sheet rather than stack them in a smaller pan or container. And I've had these lids before, but I lost one and then the other one cracked, and so I just decided I'd go ahead and buy this to add. I think it was like $16, so not terrible. And then also in the same vein, I picked up this same brand cake pan. So I already have one of these pans, but I thought I could use a second one. And I went ahead and got the one with the lid because for the same reason, if I want to take something, it just makes it that much easier. So that's going to come in handy. I used this same pan for the dinner rolls that I did in a video a week or so ago, and it works great for those to keep them like from flattening out. The sides keep everything kind of in, and so you get like a nice taller roll. Then the last thing I grabbed was a cooling rack or baking rack, and this is the right size to fit. It's a, see, is it the same brand? Yeah, Nordic Ware. It's the half sheet size also, so it'll fit down in my cookie sheets. And I saw Anita from Ketogenic Woman making some egg white buns in the mesh bun pans, but she put it on top of a rack like this on top of the cookie sheet, and so that just lets the air flow a little bit more so you can get more of a crispy bottom on the buns. So I had been needing a new cooling rack and decided to just go ahead and get this one that fits right into my pan, so I can try that method as well. It's getting close to 11:30, and I'm going to go ahead and break my fast with my athletic greens. I have been trying to get about 14 hours of intermittent fasting in, not really going a lot beyond that, just because I'm dealing with some nutritional deficiencies, namely iron, but I also do my 10,000 IU of vitamin D and K2. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Some people have asked what the athletic greens taste like, and they don't taste like you'd think of a green smoothie tasting, like bitter or gross. They actually taste really good to me. I find it really refreshing. There is a little bit of a grittiness to it. It doesn't dissolve 100%, but I don't find that off-putting. But if you are sensitive to such things, it might not be enjoyable. But as far as the taste, I think they say it's like pineapple vanilla or something, which it doesn't really taste like that specifically to me. Maybe a little bit of a vanilla flavor, but it's just sweet and a little bit fruity and delicious. I like it with an ice cube or two. Let's see. Gotta be able to make my ice cube fit. So I'm going to sip on this and then eat my first meal of the day just as soon as I feel hungry after this. So I'm gonna do some, I don't know, beef bites, steak bites, whatever you want to call it, in the air fryer for my first meal. I don't even know what cut this is. It was just labeled as stew meat at the store. It was on reduced and it was cheap, so I grabbed it. And I am just going to air fry these meat chunks up. It's always a trick with air frying beef to get it even somewhat crispy without way overcooking it. That's the hard thing about air frying steak. Chicken works a lot better because you can cook it for a really long time and get it really nice and crispy, but with beef it just doesn't work out that great. So these are a little bit frozen still, which I think will help because it'll give it more time to cook and get crispy on the outside without way overcooking the center. This is about 1 pound of beef, and you can see it's fairly fatty, so that is nice. I'm gonna season it with this red garlic seasoning. I think I got this at Grocery Outlet a while back, and I forgot I had bought it, and then I saw it in the pantry, and I was like, that kind of sounds good. I smelled it. It smells really good, so we'll see how that goes. Hopefully it's not too spicy. So I'll probably just cook it maybe for 4 minutes at 400. I think that'll probably be enough. To go with my steak bites, I'm gonna make a blue cheese dressing. Basically just mixing some blue cheese crumbles into my chosen food ranch. I told you guys about this on my last What I Eat in a Day video. It's not super ranchy. It's more like a vinaigrette. So I found that when I mixed a little bit of blue cheese crumbles in there, it made it like a blue cheese vinaigrette, and I love blue cheese vinaigrette. I love anything blue cheese. So it worked out pretty good.
I don't like it.
It's okay, you don't have to like it. And then I'm just gonna sprinkle in some blue cheese over the top here. So 3 tablespoons of dressing and then 15 grams of the crumbled blue cheese. I set these for 4 minutes, but after only 2 minutes, they were already looking a little bit crispy, and I really would like to have it more medium. So I went ahead and pulled it out. I'm gonna check to see if the inside is cooked enough. Oh yeah, that's already well cooked. Just the tiniest bit of pink in there. Definitely done. I love doing steak bites in the air fryer because they're so incredibly quick. As long as the meat is mostly defrosted, it's like super, super fast. Just a tiny bit of pink. And this is going to be my first meal of the day. This is how much I made it through, maybe about 3/4. I also had help. Levi had a few bites. Did you like that meat?
Yep, and also I have my monster truck.
And your monster truck.
I want to see.
Yeah. Meat was a little chewy, but it was cheap. So there you go.
I want to show it to
Well,
them.
you have to hold it. You have to scoot it back. There you go. Whoa. So awesome.
Yes. 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 I gotta put these 2 fries on. When I'm going to finish, then I will be done. I'll be done. Yes! Please cry.
That's awesome. You did such a good job.
Yeah, now I'm going to build this.
Can you give me a high five first? Thank you. It's time for an afternoon coffee, this time with cream, and I'm going to put in some electrolyte drops, about 12 usually. I haven't mixed up my big electrolyte drink for the day yet. Usually I've been doing that like late afternoon and drink that through the afternoon and the evening. But having that little bit of electrolyte drops in my coffees in the morning has seemed like it's been enough to hold me until the afternoon. So that's what I've been doing. So it's getting close to 4 p.m. now, and I'm definitely not hungry. That meal really filled me up, but I was feeling like I needed some electrolytes. So I went ahead and mixed up my big 40-ounce cup. I used 1 scoop of the Relight strawberry lemonade and 1 scoop of the Perfect Keto lemon lime. Still loving the combination of the Relight and the Perfect Keto electrolytes. For whatever reason, just the flavors together, the 2 different brands, you get the best of both worlds when you mix them. So that is what I always do now. Different flavors, but I always mix the 2. So I'm going to be sipping on this afternoon. And I was going to mention, if you guys have watched my What I Eat in a Day videos for a while, you've probably noticed that I have been eating a lot less often than I used to. One really big value to me is to be able to eat to hunger, to not like live according to a schedule or eat according to a schedule. I find it very valuable for my own personal well-being and health to be able to eat when I'm hungry. So I haven't forced myself, at least not recently. I definitely have done this in the past, but I have not forced myself to experience hunger in order to get to some certain time to eat. And because of that, I ended up eating usually at least 3 times a day. I've mentioned this before, but one of the hugest benefits I have seen from starting taking Athletic Greens, which is a multivitamin drink supplement that I started taking and I take every morning, I have noticed a significant decrease in my appetite and the ability to go way longer between meals. Even though the meals that I'm eating are very similar to what I've always been eating, adding that multivitamin supplement in the morning has affected my satiety so incredibly deeply. Not only do I get more full, more fast, like when I'm eating a meal, but I also just can go way longer between meals without even thinking about food. So because we're complex beings, there are so many different factors involved in how we feel. And often it's really easy to just like try to hone in on one thing and say, this one thing gave this effect, kind of like a medication. Like you take this medication, it lowers your blood pressure. You take this medication, it lowers your blood sugar, whatever like that. But we're so complex that different things affect everything. And so, for example, with taking this multivitamin supplement that I'm taking, again, it's not sponsored in any way, just something that I started taking and I have been sharing about. It has decreased my appetite and increased my satiety to the point where I'm very effortlessly intermittent fasting for, it's not anything massive, 14 to 16 hours sometimes, usually the 14-hour mark. And then also I'm going longer between meals without eating. So then if I see any health benefits, from here on out, do I say, I saw these health benefits because of the Athletic Greens? Or do I say, I saw these benefits because I started intermittent fasting or only eating 2 meals a day or cutting out snacking? And depending on what certain people's biases are, they're going to say, oh, it was definitely because of the nutrient supplement that you started taking, or definitely because of the intermittent fasting, because they're on the intermittent fasting train. But because things are so interconnected, I just try to kind of look holistically and just recognize everything for what it is. I'm getting more nutrition that I desperately needed from the supplement that I'm taking. It's affecting me in positive ways. Those positive effects are allowing other things to happen, which are giving me more positive effects, and they're all connected. We don't have to separate things out and say, just this one thing is what caused this benefit. Just having a more holistic perspective can be helpful. Those are my thoughts for today. I'm doing breakfast for dinner today. I made some scrambled eggs. I did really creamy scrambled eggs with a tablespoon of butter. It's 2 eggs, tablespoon of butter, and a tablespoon of cream cheese mixed in at the end. Then I've got a bunch of bacon. And what I like to do with these super creamy eggs, it's almost like a dip. So I use my bacon like chips and I dip it in and it's delicious. Yum. I may have some bedtime tea right before bedtime. But as far as calories go, this is my last thing of the evening. It's just a decaf espresso pod shot with a little bit of cream. And here's how my calories and macros ended up for the day. I had 1,747 calories total, 124.5 grams of protein, and that was 32.4% of my calories. 109.7 grams of fat, and that was 64.3% of my calories. And total carbs came to 12.5, and that was 3.3% of my calories. That is it for this video. Hope you guys are doing great, and I will see you again in the next one.